Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Alright, in this video we're going to be doing the 2021 BMW X7. We're going to change the battery. And the reason why I'm changing the battery, I've been having some weird electronic glitches happening in vehicles. Like one of the soft closed doors stopped operating. I've had this weird thing with the instrument cluster just blanked out. It took like 5 minutes for it to boot up. I know I don't drive this very much, and I'm wondering if that's a problem. I do try to keep it on the tender. Sometimes I forget to put it on the tender, but I do try to keep it on the battery tender. I took it into the dealership to get obviously some of these items looked at, and they determined, oh, it's like you need the battery replaced and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, how much is your battery replacement? Battery replacement was $800. Obviously, I paid a diagnostic fee for it, but and obviously your price is going to vary depending on your area, your dealership leader rate, or if you're going to a private mechanic. In my case, I was at a dealership. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to replace the battery myself. I did this before on my X5. And if it solves, probably should solve most of the problems. Because I've had it before where I've had weird issues go on, with, especially with German cars. These cars are so over-engineered that when the battery starts to fail, then these electronic things start to kind of pop up. But then as soon as you replace the battery, it magically disappears. So what I'm doing is I'm going to replace the battery. There are two batteries in this one. This is the M50i. So if you have a 40i, you may have a different type battery. But there are two batteries. One's going to be near the firewall, and the second battery is going to be underneath in the rear cargo area. Obviously, you need a few things. Need a battery. I decided to go ahead and charge it up. I'm not sure how long it's been sitting on a shelf for so long, so I decided to go ahead and charge it. This one is the 95 group 95R. It's 105 amp hour. I know sometimes they'll put like a 90 amp hour, and it usually depends on the options that your car has ordered with. That's where BMW determined where your battery type. So I decided just to charge it, and it was like needed a charge, so it took overnight. I put it on my battery tender. Another video. So what actually is the tools you're gonna need for this? Obviously, your replacement battery. You're gonna need a way to register the battery. But for tools getting the battery out, I recommend the trim removal tool. I'll link this all in the description. You'll need 10mm socket. And then I recommend long extension, 13mm socket as well. And that should be it. It's a fairly simple process. You know, just a few things you got to take out, and then you get access to the battery compartment. All right, so I'm gonna do, obviously, you probably just need basic tools for this. Maybe I'm assuming it'll be a 10mm. I really don't know because I haven't done this yet. And I'm gonna have obviously a trim removal tool. I'll never know. I'm gonna take off and pull off. And of course the battery. Now, like I said, the battery, depending on, make sure you get the right battery, 95 amp hour, or sorry, 90 amp hour or 105, and just go from there. I know people don't like when I talk or explain things, but I like to be sure I'm thorough, make sure I cover everything. I am going to have chapter markers in here, so if you don't want to hear the rest of the thing about the devices and things like that, go ahead and skip ahead to where we're going to install. Before you get started with this project, before you even tackle it, make sure you have a way to register the device, because if you don't, you're going to set yourself up for, again, several different electronic issues, because the car isn't going to recognize the new battery. And you're going to ask yourself, why do I have to register the car for the battery? Why is that even a thing? Because, you know, my 1990s Honda doesn't need that. Well, that's true. But again, BMW started doing this. Some of their later cars, I want to say it's maybe late 2000s, mid late 2000s, they started doing this battery registration process. And what this does is, because the batteries are like to be kept to a certain charge level. As they age, the vehicle determines the appropriate level that it needs to be charged up to. Let's say if I don't do it, the car is going to charge it to a certain level. But I need to tell, when I'm registering the battery, it tells the car, hey, I replaced it. This battery's new. This battery it should be maintained at a different state of charge, whatever the vehicle computer can determine it is. So I'm gonna start with obviously a fresh battery. So the way you register the battery, you need you can do it three ways. So one of the things you can use, if you can use more of a kind of a more intense, heavy DIY use person, using Autel or Launch or a Top Gun, whatever it is you have for these. These are, you can find these on Amazon pretty reasonable price, especially Prime Day and things like that. So this was about $300. This one allows me to do a lot more things than your typical just scanning codes. This one is very vehicle specific. So if you have a lot of different vehicles that you just work on, then I would recommend this, because this has options for not just BMW, but for every manufacturer, and I can do a lot of different things with it without having to buy a new specific device for each car. Okay. If you're just looking for something like near beyond diagnostic level, but you're just looking for something more in line for a vehicle specific, this right here does way more than enough for me. And I did quite a bit with this for a long time, this Foxwell. And it was only until I realized, I got the Audi, I have the BMW, I have the Honda with electronic parking brake, and some things I just need to do it, because you can buy packages. Each time I buy a car, I had to buy a package on this. So, and next option, if you just want to be really simple, and this is probably the option we're going to use for this test, because it's just super simple to do it. You'll use Beamer Link. It's an app on your phone. You of course need a Bluetooth device to pair to it. I'll link the Bluetooth device. I'll link all this in the description so you determine what you feel you want in that moment. But Beamer Link is super simple. You just pair it, tell your car what car you have, and then you can read the battery and you say register your battery. It's done. This one takes a little bit more involved menus, and of course this right here is going to be the high-end, as far as vehicle diagnostic and service goes, because it does a lot more. So, and this is just give you a quick overview of this one, of what this can do. And let's say we're just doing basic service. This can program keys. This like I said, this says electronic parking brake or overset. You can initialize. There's a lot of different things you can do here with this one. Some of it is way more than I'm ever going to be used, but there's some of it that it comes in handy. Okay, go ahead and open this. All right, so go ahead and got my hatch open. And the battery's gonna sit below here, so I need to get this stuff out. This is, of course, son's stroller here. I'm gonna get that out the way. All right, now that I got everything open and out, all of it obviously is flipped up. Let's see, I might just have to pull this thing out. Let's see what we got here. I need to get my cargo cover out of here. So. Things and just need two hands. Need two hands for this. There's the battery, 105 amp hour. So here's the BMW battery right here. So somehow to get these panels out, I could probably just pull this liner out. There's another clip right here. Let's see, and we'll go from there. So 1, 2, 3, maybe some more than that. 1, 2, 3, And then I'll see if those lift out. With those lift out, I will go ahead and pull this liner out, and then I should have access to the battery. Okay, with those clips being moved, I should pull this one. Okay, that just lifts out. I'm gonna set this over to the side. And then that one off to the side. I get this one, just clip right there. Close this, see if I can just grab this liner. You're going for this real time. I apologize if I'm seem off. I just thought I don't have one shot to make this. Usually I can make a video, kind of rehearse it first. So apologize if I'm not doing this right, or if you see a better way. Okay. All right. Now the tools come in handy. Let's see what we got here. Let's take off this one, off this one, or make it just do one of these and swivel it. Either way, these come off. We'll go ahead and remove the negative, positive, and let's see. There's got to be a vent somewhere. There's a piece of candy. How'd I get in here? Buy a car used. Never know what you find. I don't know what this is either. Squirrel moment. Okay. All right, there's a vent right here. I see it. So this is the vent. It needs to go in there. I think that's it. Let me see. Just undo these clamps and we should be good to go. If you have the X7, you can use this. Before you get to this point, you can lower the suspension. I recommend having the suspension at the lowest setting prior to doing this because it makes it easier than trying to hoist this thing out of the car. There's two more, one bracket there. So we got one more bolt right there. All right, so that's a 13mm socket for this. I'm using the long extension just because I don't feel like sticking my hand in there and doing several turns. So 10mm for these, 13 for that one. Obviously 10 for the battery terminals. Let's see if I can get the battery out now. Okay, it does. It wants to come out. So, two hands. It's gonna take a lot for your back. Just make sure you try to keep your abs tight, keep your back tight. You don't want to be pulling from the back because this is a lot of weight. This is a lot of weight to be. I don't have the proper body mechanics to be reaching over for this and it's not a weight. So, oh my gosh, man, this thing is heavy to be doing that. All right, so the hard part is getting this without injuring yourself. This is a lot of weight to be controlling, so my wife's going to help me out.
You're gonna face
Which one?
terminals that way, terminals toward me.
Terminals towards the back of the car.
Yeah, so hop your butt up there.
Okay. Okay. Leg be showing on here. All right, and just lift it. Be careful.
I would do it like that, yeah.
Lift it in there. Let me get it.
Can you lift it like that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's a lot easier if I hurt my back. And then drop it in.
Yeah.
Let's see. Make sure positive, negative. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, it's a lot easier to do it this way.
So famous words were.
Thank you. Thanks, babe.
And I was right.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Well, I just didn't want to get hurt. You know how that's how it happens when you're trying to.
Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, folks, the battery's in. You want to put your vent tubing inside there. Remember, battery clamp, make sure it's on. This has to clamp in on the side of the battery. And this just keeps it from shifting around. Negative. Then battery bracket. Final one.
Don't lose that bolt.
No, right? Before I do the liner, I forgot to do this, had to start over. Make sure you put this back in place. I noticed that sits right on. How does it sit in here? Put it right here like this. I'm gonna slide it over so that. Like that. Don't forget this plug that goes back inside there. All right, since we're here, things that I put inside of my car, I keep a battery pack. Never know, or a jump starter. Never know when someone's gonna need or me, myself, we need a jump start. I usually keep it obviously for myself, but I'll help out other people in need. So make sure I always check that every few months, make sure that it's still 100%, which it is. Everyone's tire inflator. I think it's always good to have. And then as far as help and stuff, keep a plug kit so I can repair my tire if I have to. So it's important to have a plug. And I just change out the needle nose pliers that come with this. The ones that come with it aren't that great, so I get so many, those needle nose pliers are better. So I keep that in the car. And then for kids stuff, I need to vacuum something. Got a portable vacuum I keep in the car too. I knew something was off when I put this in here and I start having the floor moving. I said the floor didn't do that before. Something's off. Let's check. No big deal. It took me like a small setback. Maybe I start watching videos on these before I start doing these myself, but how am I ever going to be authentic in my YouTube stuff if I don't just do it as opposed to just watching other people do it first? Link this in the description. This is probably the easiest device you can use. Imagine if you had like an Altel, like I said, the Foxwell, you'd be fine with it, but this one is the V-Peak. This one is the Plus, the Bluetooth Plus, a little bit faster than some other generations. I'll link it in the description, and you do have to purchase the app, but it's a lot cheaper than buying a high-level scan tool if you're just using it just for this purpose. And it gives you some options too later on down the road if you want to use some coding or anything else for diagnostic, and you do that too. So I'm going to plug this into my OBD2 port underneath the dashboard. Start screen recording so you can see this. Now it's just scanning a few things right now at this point. "12-volt batteries from my hit. It's going to tell you the battery capacity, what the charge is like, and plus if I want to register the battery. Okay, so it's 105. I'm going to go ahead and register a new battery. Like I said, if I were going to change, like I said, if I went from a 90 amp hour to a 105 amp hour, I would need Beamer code or one of those scan tools to change the appropriate amp hours to show. But I'm replacing it with the same battery type, so nothing needs to change here. Registering the battery, and here we go. Same capacity, same type. Registering battery. And that's it. That's all it takes. Battery has been registered in the car, and it's ready to go. And now Beamer code now had tracks, and it knows. Now the car knows that it's got a new battery. This is the mileage that is changed, and it keeps track of doing the second battery. So the second battery was never replaced. So we'll see. That was weird. I tried to close the tailgate, and it beeped at me. I was confused why, but it wouldn't shut. So I had to force the tailgate shut manually, close the hatch manually, and then reopened it, and now it works fine. So I wondered, having the battery disconnected, had no idea what position it was, but it's working fine now. Here's the second battery. Smaller. People are going to ask me, how do you know which one needs to be replaced? You don't really. I don't know. I mean, like my X5, I replaced both because they're right next to each other. This one, I would say it's not that hard to do. It's probably just pull this cowling off and I could just change it out. But this one would be a little bit more less common. I think this is just kind of an accessory battery, but most likely if anything fails, it's most likely going to be the larger battery because most of all your accessories are going to be on that. I wanted to go ahead and do the auxiliary battery. But before I do that, I need to go back and disconnect the main battery. Then I'll come back up here and disconnect the negative positive. I'm gonna try my best to wiggle this thing out. I just popped this ventilation cowling off. Obviously this one's self-explanatory. You'll turn it to unlock, just pull this off. And then it appears as though there's one bolt holding the battery in. So I should be able to do that. Let's see what we got so far. I'll update you. So fortunately, I don't have to, there's a trap door in here, so I don't have to pull everything apart again. And there it is. I could just unplug the negative right there. Negative disconnected. It's a 10. I've already loosened it. Positive. You can see we're looking at right there. So then I'm going to take this vent hose off. Right, that. And I'm going to try to get the battery out. Let's see what we can do. I need to loosen this more. Not take it all the way off. Oops. Okay. And you can see the battery's so hard to get in and out of there, but it's done. I'm just going to thread this in while I have reach. Just a couple of threads for this, and then I'll spin it around when the battery's in place. So this has to come out. So let's hope that I can get the new battery back in there. Otherwise, I'll pull out more stuff and oh boy, let's see. Make sure I'm going with the same battery. You know, of course I did the Start. Oh, sorry, the Super Start Platinum. These actually have really good reviews. I know people are like, well, you need a BMW battery. Look at the Colt cranking amps. It's 660 for this one. 680 for this one. 60 amp hour, 60 amp hour. 100 reserve capacity, and this is 105 reserve capacity. What else is in here? It's comparable. I mean, BMW doesn't make batteries, folks, so this is Sabang Global Battery. It's a Korean battery. You gotta remember, this is 2021, so this car could have been around that time frame when parts shortage. Who knows what they sourced. Alright, so the battery's in there. Now I just gotta put that last piece in there and then I'll connect everything back. I'm not gonna connect everything until I secure the battery. If you have small hands, this is beneficial. If you don't, I'm sorry. This is gonna be hard for you. I might have to move some things off. No way I just popped that in there. I think I just did. That doesn't happen with my videos like this. Usually it takes me a lot more. But that really has went right in there. If that is, I am thrilled. Let's see. And it threads. Oh my gosh, that worked out wonderfully. Move the battery around. It doesn't move. It doesn't shift. We're good. Let's find that vent hose. It's right there. I'm gonna plug this back on. First, let me get that vent hose, which is right. It's wrapped with 2 hands. It's cowling. Now it has to go back in place, which is gonna be fun. Make sure that you seal this back up with the windshield so you don't get any leaks and stuff running down. While you're doing that, you also have to get this lined up and pop back in place. You can see there's a tab. That tab needs to connect right into that ventilation. All right, use my Untitled scanner and I'm gonna see if I can register the second battery. All right, here we go. Auxiliary battery. Register battery exchange for the auxiliary battery. Let's see. F1. Yep. Data matrix code. Oh, tell me I gotta open it. Let's see. All right, battery successfully. Because I didn't have a part number. If it was a BMW part, I guess it's ask for the part number. So we're all set there. Alright, just like before, when I'm trying to close the hatch, it screams at me. I know what I do. It's because I've disconnected the battery and doesn't know where position it is, so it needs to be kind of set. So I'm going to close this manually, and I'm going to shut this gate manually. Now I should be able to open as normal. It's really windy here, by the way. Let's try it again. There it goes. Done with this. Alright, but thanks for watching. You see easy battery replacement with just basic tools. Anyone can do it. If you're patient and like I said, you have basic knowledge, basic mechanical skills, should be plenty for this. Save you some money. Save me, you know, if I wish I'd known that earlier, I probably wouldn't have went to the dealership, but it'll save you money in the long run. But anyway, thank you for watching. And subscribe for more X7 content. If you have an X3, obviously I do occasionally X3 content. F80M3, FL5, Honda Civic Type R, and temporarily right now the B9.5 Audi SQ5. Thank you.